The family group chat notification made my phone vibrate against my desk at 9:47 a.m., sending my coffee mug skittering dangerously close to the edge. When I opened the message, my throat constricted as if someone had reached into my chest and squeezed. "Olivia, we need to discuss your living situation. Your sister Rachel and her fiancé need the apartment. You have until Sunday to find somewhere else. This works better for the family." Below it, Rachel had already posted a Pinterest board titled Downtown Loft Transformation, with images of exposed brick, modern lighting, and open concept layouts. My apartment. The one I'd lived in for 3 years. Rachel, so excited. Mom, can we start painting this weekend? I want to get the bedroom done before Olivia's stuff is even gone. Brother Nathan, about time. Liv's been hogging that place forever. She doesn't even need that much space. My fingertips tingled with a strange numbness as I set my phone down with precision, the screen still illuminated with my family's casual dismantling of my home. My name is Olivia, I'm 32, and I'm a commercial real estate acquisitions director. This is the story of how I taught my family to see me instead of looking through me. For years, I'd been the invisible middle child, quiet, responsible, and utterly overlooked. At family gatherings, conversations flowed around me like I was a piece of furniture. My accomplishments warranted polite nods while my siblings' smallest victories earned champagne toasts. I'd learned to channel that invisibility into power, building my life while they weren't watching. I pulled up my laptop and navigated to the property management portal for Nelson Holdings, LLC, the company I'd established 6 years ago when I started investing in real estate. The company my family knew nothing about because they'd never asked what I did with my money. The building at 847 Sterling Avenue appeared on screen, 12 units mixed commercial and residential. Purchase price, $2.8 million. Current value, $4.1 million. Owner, Olivia Nelson via Nelson Holdings LLC, including the 2-bedroom corner unit on the 4th floor where I currently lived. The apartment my family thought belonged to some vague family investment they had partial control over. I pulled up the access control system and looked at the active key cards. 4 cards were registered to my apartment. Mine, Mom's emergency spare, Rachel's just-in-case copy, and one Dad had made himself last year without asking. My phone buzzed again. Dad, Olivia, your mother and I have discussed this. Rachel and Kevin need to start their married life somewhere affordable. You're established in your career. You can find another place easily. Established in my career, that was one way to put it. At 32, I was one of the youngest acquisitions directors at Cornerstone Commercial Real Estate, with a personal portfolio of 7 properties worth a combined $12 million. But my family still saw me as the quiet middle child who'd stumbled into a decent job. Mom, we're doing you a favor, really. Time to stop being so comfortable and push yourself. Maybe get a roommate. Learn to budget better. Budget better. I'd been financially independent since 23, putting myself through business school while working full-time, and had never asked them for $1. Meanwhile, Rachel was 28, still on Mom and Dad's phone plan, and had her car insurance paid by the family account. I clicked through to the tenant management system and pulled up the lease agreement for Unit 4B, my apartment. Tenant, Olivia Nelson. Landlord, Nelson Holdings, LLC. Lease term, month to month with owner occupancy rights. Then I looked at the building's ownership history. I'd purchased it 3 years ago from a retiring landlord who wanted a quick all-cash sale. My family had been told I was house-sitting for a friend's investment property. They'd never questioned it because they'd never been interested enough to ask details. My phone rang. Mom, not waiting for a text response. Did you see my message? She asked without preamble. I did. Good. So you understand the situation. Rachel needs that apartment and you've had it long enough. Time to share family resources. Family resources? I repeated, my voice unnaturally calm as heat spread across my chest. Don't take that tone. You know what I mean. The apartment was available. You moved in. But now Rachel has priority. She's getting married, starting a life. You're just there. Just there. Living my life. Managing my properties. Building wealth my family couldn't even conceptualize. Who owns the building, Mom? What? Some investment group your father knows. Why does that matter? Because I'd like to understand the authority behind this eviction notice. It's not an eviction, Olivia. It's family managing family assets. Don't be dramatic. Does Dad have ownership stake in the building? I don't know the details. He handles the investments. The point is, the apartment needs to go to Rachel. That's final. After hanging up, I sent a message to my property manager, William. My family is attempting to evict me from Unit 4B under the mistaken impression they have authority to do so. They have unauthorized key cards. Please deactivate all cards except mine effective immediately and update building security. William responded within minutes. Done. Building security has been notified. Should I send formal lease violation notices to the unauthorized card holders? Not yet. Let's see how this plays out. The family group chat was heating up. Rachel, don't make this harder than it needs to be. Mom said you're being stubborn about moving out. Nathan, typical Olivia, always has to make everything complicated. Dad, Olivia, I'm calling the building management tomorrow to ensure a smooth transition. Please have your belongings packed by Saturday. I took a screenshot of the property deed showing Nelson Holdings LLC as the owner with my name listed as the sole member and manager. Then I took another screenshot of my tenant portal showing my lease agreement. I saved both but didn't send them. Not yet. Thursday morning, my phone erupted with calls from Dad. I was in a meeting with a client discussing a potential $8 million mixed-use development acquisition, so I let it go to voicemail. The voicemail was 2 minutes of confusion and anger. Olivia, I just got off the phone with building management. They're saying I don't have authorization to discuss the property. They won't even confirm tenant information. What kind of operation are they running? Call me back immediately. I texted him, in meetings all day. Will call tonight. By Thursday afternoon, Rachel had apparently tried to access the building with her key card. She had been planning to measure the apartment for furniture, having received the unit number and address from Mom, who had visited me there several times before. Rachel, my key doesn't work. Mom, something's wrong with the building security. I can't get in to start measuring for furniture. Mom, Olivia, did you do something to the security system? Me? I haven't touched anything. Perhaps building management updated their protocols. Dad, this is unacceptable. I'm going down there in person to sort this out. I imagine Dad walking into the building lobby, demanding to speak to management, only to be directed to contact the corporate office of Nelson Holdings, LLC. The corporate office that consisted of my attorney, my accountant, and me. After a night of silence from my family, Friday morning brought the call I'd been expecting. Dad had spent the previous evening searching online property records for the building owner after his visit to the management office located in the lobby. Why? Dad's voice was tight with controlled anger. I need you to explain something to me. I went to the building management office yesterday. They directed me to contact the ownership group. When I called, I was told that all tenant and property matters must go through the primary owner, who is listed as Olivia Nelson. That's correct, I replied, my voice steady despite my racing heart. Silence. What do you mean, that's correct? I mean, I own the building, Dad. I purchased it 3 years ago. Nelson Holdings, LLC is my company. That's impossible. You don't have that kind of money. I do, actually. I've been investing in real estate since I was 26. I own 7 properties with a combined value of about $12 million. The Sterling Avenue building was my 3rd acquisition. $12 million? You're saying you have $12 million in real estate? In property value, yes, about $4 million in equity after mortgages, plus my investment accounts and liquid assets. The silence stretched so long I thought he'd hung up. Why wouldn't you tell us this? He finally asked, his voice strained. You never asked. You've never asked what I do with my money, how my career is going, or what my long-term plans are. You assumed I was getting by in some entry-level job, so that's what you saw. But we're your family. And yet, you just tried to evict me from my own property to give it to Rachel. We didn't know it was your property. You didn't know because you didn't ask. You made assumptions and acted on them. Now you're upset that your assumptions were wrong. Dad was struggling to process this new reality, but still fixated on the apartment. Rachel needs it. Can't you just... No, Rachel can find her own apartment. There are dozens available in the area. She doesn't get to have mine just because Mom decided it was convenient. This is going to devastate your sister. Rachel will survive the devastation of having to apartment hunt like every other engaged couple in the city. Your mother is going to be very upset. Mom is already upset that I'm not immediately complying with her demands. This just gives her a different reason. Friday evening, Mom called. I was at a property showing for a potential 8th acquisition, a small office building in the Arts District. But I answered, "Olivia, your father told me the most ridiculous story." It's not a story, Mom. I own the building. I'm not moving out. Rachel needs to find somewhere else to live. But we promised her that apartment. You promised her something that wasn't yours to promise. That's not my problem. How can you be so selfish? She's your sister. And I'm a person with property rights. Being related doesn't entitle her to my apartment. This isn't some stranger's apartment. This is family. No, Mom. This is my apartment in my building. Family doesn't enter into it. I can't believe you've been lying to us about this for years. I haven't lied about anything. You told people I was house sitting, and I didn't correct you because, honestly, it wasn't your business. I pay my bills, live my life, and manage my investments. None of that required your input or approval. You've been secretly hoarding money while your sister struggles. Rachel doesn't struggle. Rachel has a decent job and parents who subsidize half her expenses. She's choosing to live beyond her means, and that's her decision. I chose to live below my means and invest the difference. Different choices, different outcomes. Mom hung up on me. The family group chat exploded over the weekend. Rachel, I can't believe you've been lying to us. You have millions and you let me think we were doing you a favor. Nathan, this is so messed up. You've been playing poor while sitting on a fortune. Dad, we need to have a family meeting to discuss the situation properly. Mom, you owe your sister an explanation and an apology. I muted the group chat and went about my weekend. Property inspections, reviewing financial statements, meeting with my contractor about renovations on one of my other buildings. Sunday evening, there was a knock on my apartment door. I checked the security camera feed and saw my entire family in the hallway. Mom, Dad, Rachel, Kevin, and Nathan. They must have coordinated this ambush, arriving together to confront me as a unified front. I opened the door but didn't invite them in. We need to talk, Dad said. About what? About how we're going to resolve this situation, Mom said. Rachel needs somewhere to live. Rachel needs to go apartment hunting. There are currently 3 vacant units in this building alone. She's welcome to apply for one like any other tenant. She'll need to submit an application, provide proof of income, pass a credit check, and pay first month's rent plus security deposit. You can't be serious, Rachel said, her eyes widening in disbelief. I'm your sister. Which is why I'm telling you about the vacancies instead of making you find them on Zillow. But you're not getting my apartment. What about a family discount? Kevin asked. Some kind of family rate? Market rate, I said firmly. I don't give family discounts. That's how family conflicts start. Family conflicts? Mom's voice was shrill. We're already in a family conflict because you've been hiding your wealth. I haven't been hiding anything. I've been private about my finances, which is my right. You all made assumptions, and I didn't correct them. That's not the same as lying. You let us think you were struggling, Rachel said. I never said I was struggling. You assume that because I don't broadcast my financial situation like it's a competition. Nathan spoke up. So what? You're just going to keep all this money to yourself? It's my money, Nathan. I earned it, invested it, and grew it. What exactly do you think you're entitled to? We're family? Being family doesn't create financial obligations. I don't owe you housing, money, or access to my assets. Dad tried a different approach. Olivia, your mother and I are proud of what you've accomplished. We just think you should be more generous with family. I am generous with family. I host holidays. I remember birthdays. I show up when it matters. What I don't do is hand over my property because someone decides they want it. So that's it? Rachel's eyes were full of tears. You're going to keep your precious apartment while Kevin and I struggle to find something we can afford? Rachel, you don't struggle to afford things. Mom and Dad pay your car insurance, your phone bill, and helped with your down payment on your car. You have plenty of money. You just spend it on other things. That's your choice, but it doesn't obligate me to solve the consequences. This is so typical, Nathan muttered. Olivia always thinks she's better than everyone. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just refuse to be treated like a resource for you to exploit. They left shortly after, and I knew the fallout would continue for weeks. The family group chat would remain muted. The invitations to family dinners would carry an edge of guilt and manipulation. Mom would tell relatives I was going through something and needed prayers. But Monday morning, I went to work at Cornerstone, closed on the Arts District office building for $3.2 million, and added an 8th property to my portfolio. The next 3 weeks passed in tense silence after that confrontation at my door. Then William texted, 2 applications for vacant units. One is from a Rachel Nelson. Should I process normally? Process normally, I replied. No special treatment either way. Rachel's application was denied. Her debt-to-income ratio was too high, and she had 2 late payments on her credit report from last year. She texted me directly, "You rejected my application?" The property management company rejected your application based on standard tenant criteria. I don't personally review applications. That's what I pay professionals to do. You could override it. I could, but I won't. Those criteria exist for a reason. I hate you. You're allowed to feel that way. 3 weeks later, Rachel and Kevin found an apartment across town. Smaller than mine, slightly more expensive, but theirs. Mom stopped speaking to me except for holiday coordination texts. Dad occasionally sent articles about family wealth management with pointed subject lines. But I kept my apartment with its floor-to-ceiling windows, my building with its steady rental income, and my boundaries intact. They'd said, "Pack your things," not knowing I owned the building. Now they knew, and everything had changed except my lease, which remained exactly as it had always been. Before you go, here's a quick bonus for sticking around. If you love learning and growing like I do, you need to try audiobooks. I've got an exclusive deal with Audible. Your first month is completely free. That's access to over 500,000 titles, 0 cost to you. All the details are waiting in the description. Don't miss this one.